Odysseus left Troy with 12 ships. He lost 11 of them in one afternoon, in a harbor with no waves in it. In the movie, armored Laestrygonians come down on the crew with swords, and the crew fight them. In the poem, nobody fights the Laestrygonians. They stand on the cliffs above that harbor and drop boulders until 11 ships are broken open. Then they wade into the water and spear the swimmers like fish. 500 men in one afternoon. It is the worst thing that happens to Odysseus in 20 years, and almost nobody remembers it. It begins with a leather bag. After the Cyclops, the ships reach the island of Aeolus, keeper of the winds. He feeds them for a month and listens to the whole story of Troy, and asks for nothing. Then he does something no one else in 20 years does for Odysseus. He helps him completely and asks for nothing in return. He takes every wind that could blow them off course, seals them inside an oxhide bag, ties it shut with a silver cord, and stows it below the deck. And he sends the west wind alone to carry them home. 9 days. Odysseus holds the sail rope himself the whole way and does not sleep, not once. He will not let another man touch it. On the 10th day, Ithaca comes over the horizon. They are close enough to see men on the shore, tending fires. And Odysseus falls asleep. His crew have watched him guard that bag for 9 days without letting anyone near it. They decide it is treasure, gold and silver out of Troy, a parting gift from a king, and he is keeping all of it for himself. We go home with nothing, they say, and he goes home rich. They open it. Every wind in the world comes out at once. Odysseus wakes to a storm and to the sight of his own island going backward over the horizon. He thinks about going over the side. He lies down on the deck instead, covers his head, and lets it happen. They are blown all the way back to Aeolus, who takes one look at them and refuses. "Get off my island," he says. "It is not lawful for me to help a man the gods hate this much." 6 days of rowing after that, with no wind at all, just oars and blistered hands, and gray light that does not change. On the 7th, they reach a place called Telepylus, in the country of the Laestrygonians. The nights there are almost no nights at all. A herdsman bringing his flock in at evening passes another herdsman driving his out, and both of them are working. A man who never slept could earn 2 wages in that country. The fleet sails in without slowing, and the harbor is the best thing they have seen in months. Cliffs on both sides, unbroken. 2 headlands almost touching, leaving a narrow gap between them. Inside, the water is flat as glass. No swell, no waves at all. Every captain takes his ship in through the gap and moors up close, side by side. Every captain except one. Odysseus ties his ship to a rock outside the harbor mouth on the open coast and climbs a high rock to look at the country. He does not explain why. He has spent years learning that shelter is a cave with a stone across it. From up there he can see no plowed fields, no smoke from cooking fires, no farms, only a road and dust and something moving on it. He sends 3 men inland to find out who lives here. They meet a girl drawing water from a stream, an enormous girl. She is polite. She points them to her father's house. Her father is Antiphates, king of the Laestrygonians. Inside the house they find her mother, as huge as a mountain peak. The 3 men are sick with horror at the sight of her. She calls her husband in from the meeting place. He takes hold of one of the 3 men and prepares him for dinner in front of the other 2. They run, and Antiphates raises the cry through the city. They come in thousands from every direction, not like men, but like giants. They line the tops of the cliffs on both sides of that sheltered harbor. Then the boulders start falling. The harbor mouth is a narrow gap. 11 ships are moored side by side in dead still water. They cannot turn. They cannot get up speed. They cannot row out through that gap under falling rock. And they cannot spread out to be missed. The thing that made it a perfect anchorage makes it a perfect trap. Hulls split open. Men go into the water, and the Laestrygonians come down off the cliffs and spear them in the shallows and carry them away over their shoulders. There is no plan. There is no trick. There is nothing clever left to do. Odysseus draws the sword from his hip, cuts through his own mooring rope, and screams at his men to row, and they row out to open sea. 1 ship out of 12. Away from a harbor full of drowning men who are shouting his name. He does not go back. There is nothing to go back with. A sword fight is something men can lose. Falling rock is something men can only be under. Odysseus survives that afternoon for 2 reasons. He was too suspicious to moor inside the harbor, and he was fast enough with a sword to cut his own rope and run. He survives by being a coward with excellent instincts. They sail on, glad to be alive, grieving for the men they left behind. 11 ships, 1 afternoon, a harbor with no waves in it. Next, the island they reach with the 1 ship they have left. Everyone remembers Circe as the witch who turned men into pigs. Almost nobody remembers that Odysseus stayed with her for a year.